In today's video, we will be doing George Pickens versus the world. Now, George Pickens is the reason I chose him is because, well, he's in a lot of things are going on with George Pickens specifically right now. So, yeah, we're going to talk about him. He just got traded to the Cowboys away from my Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'll share with you how I feel about that in a moment. But either way, before we get into this video, not forget to check out Dubby. Dubby is my sponsor, and right over here you see all of my energy drinks. I've got 9 of them right now, and there was more. I just ended up throwing some of them away because, you know, that's what you do with empty cans, even though, don't ask about some of those. Anyways, W is a great energy company. They are clean energy, is what they like to pride themselves on. It even says on each bottle right here, be better. Because guess what? They are better. No sugars, no artificial colors or anything like that. It's just pure clean energy. Better than your G Fuels or anything else. Don't forget to check them out at all. Use your code SHREDDER for 10% off your order of anything on their website. And let's get right into this video. Before we get started, like I said, I'm going to share my thoughts on the George Pickens trade. So, as a Steelers fan, a lot of people were really upset about that trade and thought it was a terrible trade that the Steelers made. In my opinion, if you know anything about Pittsburgh, they do not pay wide receivers, or at least multiple of them. The fact that we paid DK is alarming after he hasn't played a game for us, but he is DK Metcalf. You know what you're getting. They're not going to pay both of them. George Pickens, going into his last year of his deal, wasn't going to be extended. Probably the off chance he was is very, very low. So they went ahead and got a 3rd round pick out of him. I'm not surprised. I think they probably could have gotten more. I think George Pickens is an incredible receiver, and we'll compare him in a minute. But honestly, I'm not that upset about it because I don't think they were going to pay him in the long run. But my problem with that trade is the fact that, in my opinion, you'll see this in a minute, I don't know that George Pickens is much worse, or if not worse at all, than DK Metcalf. I would have rather paid the 24-year-old 5 years, $30 million a year than the 28-year-old. That's my opinion. I think I just don't really see that how DK is much better. I think he's been in a better offense, a more high-powered passing offense, and I think George Pickens is going to flourish in Dallas because, well, they're going to throw the ball a lot. So that's yet to see. I guess we'll see if I'm wrong or not. That's my take. But either way, let's get into this video. Starting off with George Pickens himself. Where is he at here? There he is. GP in the middle. Moving on. Let's start with a little low ball here. Jamarr Chase, I think I'd take him over George. It's pretty close to... I'm just kidding, dude. Yes, I'd take Jamarr Chase over George Pickens. Adonai Mitchell, no, not to this point. He's proven nothing. A big Adonai Mitchell guy. Liked him a lot. Liked him coming out of Texas, but no. A.J. Brown, 100% no doubt. Definitely would take him over George Pickens. Amari Cooper, no, don't think so. Amon-Ra St. Brown, yes. Very different receiver. Amon-Ra's a great receiver, though. No doubt about that in my mind. Brandon Cooks, absolutely not. Brandon Ayuk? No. I think Brandon Ayuk has been in a very nice offense for himself, and he really hasn't done anything incredible. He's been really solid. He's not been amazing. If you see my thing going crazy, I'm watching the Pacers and Cavs game over here on the side, so that's why the background's going absolutely berserk right now. But either way, they're getting absolutely shellacked, the Cavs are. So, anyways... yeah, at this point, I don't know that Brandon Ayuk is definitively better than George Pickens. They're probably even, but Pickens is younger, so give me Pickens. Brian Thomas Jr., that's a tough one. He's only played 1 year, but he had an incredible first year. Give me Brian Thomas Jr. Calvin Ridley, heck no. No chance. CeeDee Lamb, excuse me, you're coming through. Chris Godwin, no. Injury-wise, that's one part of it. Definitely injuries there. Not to mention, he's 30 now. George Pickens is 24. Give me that. Nah, not a chance. Chris Olave? No, would not take him over George Pickens. No chance. Christian Kirk? Laughable. Christian Watson? Laughable. Cooper Kupp? Not at this point in his career. Obviously, at his prime, yes, I'm taking Cooper Kupp over him. Courtland Sutton? No. Courtland Sutton would be the 2 on the Steelers last year. He would be. Courtland Sutton is a good receiver, not a great receiver. Pickens has great receiver abilities. Curtis Samuel? No. Davante Adams, if you know me, when I talk about rookies, I always say that 1 year doesn't prove enough. And honestly, for Davante Adams' situation, 1 year of being not so great doesn't really prove that he's bad to me. He needs, especially for the Jets, when you're playing for the Jets. So for now, I'll take Davante Adams over GP, but he's on a short leash going into the 2025 season. D-Hop, no, he's not been the same guy for 2, 3, maybe even 4 years now, so not quite him. I would not take Debo. Not a big Debo guy. Definitely not doing that. Devontae Smith, that one is hard. feel like Devontae's done a little more. I feel like his offense has allowed him to do that. I'll give him credit for now, but it's incredibly close. Deontay Johnson, no. He is borderline out of the league right now, so not happening. DJ Moore, very barely yes. Very barely yes. DK Metcalf, honestly, no. I think DK Metcalf runs a lot less of a route tree. I think DK Metcalf has more diva potential than GP does. You might say, that's crazy to think that, but if you've been around the Steelers or watched them play the last few years since Pickens has been drafted, George only gets upset when the team is losing. It's not when he's not getting the ball. There's been games where they're winning by 10, by 20, not very often, but it happens, and he's completely fine, even though he hasn't touched the ball but once. DK Metcalf, when he doesn't get the ball once or twice, he throws a fit. So I don't think I'd rather have DK over George, honestly. Dontavion Wicks, he hasn't done anything. Drake London, I'd take George Pickens over him. Drake London had a great year last year numerically, but they were in a very pass-happy offense for a team that was losing at all times, so not so much. Garrett Wilson, no, I don't think Garrett Wilson's done a lot. He's on the Jets. That's fair, but he's on the Jets. John Dotson, no. Jameson Williams, he's a gadget guy, no. Jackson Smith, no, not happening. Jaden Reed, no. Jalen Waddle, he is in this tier. Very barely, yes. Very barely. Jordan Addison, not happening. Jefferson, no. Just kidding. Man, I don't know how many of y'all just almost lost it. Justin Jefferson, absolutely. Take him to the front of the line, man. Keenan Allen, not at this point in his career. Keon Coleman, no. Ladd McConkey at this point, no. Though he could be soon. Malik Neighbors, no. I think that's really close. He's probably the top of this list so far. He could be really close. It's just not quite. Him and Ayuk are like 1 and 2 in terms of beating out GP, but I think let me see Neighbors and Pickens this coming year, and then we decide that one. Marquise Brown, absolutely not. Marvin Harrison Jr., no. Pittman, I like Pittman a lot, but no. Mike Evans, all right, give me Mike Evans. Mike Williams, haha. Nico Collins, this one's a hot take, and I know some of y'all ain't gonna like this, but no. I don't think Nico Collins is amazing. He's been good, solid, not quite great. I think he's in a really good offense. He's playing in an offensive role that really fits his play style. I think him and GP are just about tied. I really don't think Nico Collins is better than him. He's not necessarily worse than him, but is he better than him? Probably not. Puka, all right, I'll take Puka. Rashee Rice, no. Roma Dunze, no. Stephon Diggs, not at this point, okay? That one's kind of, not too far removed, but not at this point. Tank Dell, no, sir. T. Higgins, no. I think T. Higgins is a jump ball specialist, and if he made a great decision staying with Cincinnati. He gets to be the number 2 behind Jamar Chase, obviously. If he was to have gone to the Patriots, the Jaguars, a team where he has to be the one, I don't think that goes well for him at all because he's kind of like DK, except even less of a great receiver. And I'm not trying to hurt T. Higgins, but yeah, I'll do my Madden ratings here in a few weeks where I release my Madden ratings, and you'll kind of see that they're all pretty close, but still, just above him. Terry McLaurin, give me him over him. Tyler Lockett, not at this point in his career, obviously. Tyreek Hill, he's kind of in that Devontae Adams tier, so I'll give him this one, but man, it's very close. It's hard to say. Xavier Worthy, definitely not. Zay Flowers, no. That is pretty much it for this one. So how many receivers are better than George Pickens? There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. He is the 15th best receiver in the NFL according to this. You can argue Nico Collins. Ayuk, Collins, those two, I'll say, hey, if you want to say they're better than him, Godwin maybe too. If you want to say that, I'll give you it, okay? Understandable. I get it. Malik Neighbors, he hasn't proven enough yet. I think, obviously, there's reason for that, but whatever. Cortland Sutton, just not as dynamic of a receiver. Don't think you can give him that credit, though he's a really good receiver. This is what I like to call, these are your ones, your first few guys here. Ceedee's up here. Your true number ones. Devontae Adams at his height. Tyreek Hill at his height. They are your ones. Mike Evans, right? Those are your number ones. Terry McLaurin's kind of like a 1B-ish. Like 1A, 1B. He's kind of 1AB, I guess. And then these are all your 1Bs. Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Devontae Smith, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, Puka Nacua. George Pickens is that 1B territory. And then you've got like 1BCs, right? Ayuk, Collins, Godwin. Then you've got Neighbors who's kind of close to that, but he just needs to prove it more. And all these guys, Cortland's like a 1E, 1F, 2A plus. Really good there. You'd love him as your 2. I don't think you're really excited about him as your 1, though he is a really good receiver. Either way, that's what I'm thinking about this list. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Obviously, we're all going to have different opinions on this, but hey, just like to share mine out there. And either way, thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video.